it definitely matters to me that I'm black. Yeah, it makes a difference that I'm white. I know the two of us get treated very differently.
Suit up, bears. Welcome to part 2 of my previous video. Thought I'd break it down for you guys because there's only so many woke cartoons that I can take in a day. Are you ready, kids?
Aye, aye, Captain!
So, you might know Ridley Jones from the last video.
Sometimes there's something I would rather be than royalty. Just my two dads and me.
Sometimes there's something I would rather be than royalty. Just my fruity dads and me. And this week, they weren't just happy with a mummy who'll never be a mummy. They also added a non-binary bison into the mix. Brought to you by Netflix, of course.
If I'm going to lead the herd, I want to do it as myself. After all, you always say to lead with your heart, right? Well, my heart says that the way I feel most myself is to go by the name Fred. That's because I'm non-binary, and Fred is the name that fits me best. And I also use they and them. Because calling me a she or a he doesn't feel right to me.
Oh, I didn't know that. No wonder you've been struggling.
Why are you smiling like that?
How could you lead the herd without being yourself? Oh, I'm sorry I used the wrong name and pronouns. Thank you for showing me your heart.
There's a special cardboard box out in the streets waiting for whoever wrote this crap. Okay, let's correct the dialogue in this. If I'm gonna lead the cult, I want to do it in the way that else will be proud of me. After all, Larry Fink always said to think with your heart, right? Well, groomers on the internet say that the best way to follow my heart is by making up a gender and saying I'm marginalized. That's because I'm an attention whore. And this identity issue distracts from my internal cacophony and schizophrenia. I shall also force you to participate in my delusion, because everyone treating me like I'm crazy doesn't feel good to me.
Oh, I didn't know you were chronically stupid. No wonder you've been struggling. How could you lead a clown cult without being a dud? I'm sorry. Thank you for showing me your mental illness.
Steven Universe! The gayest show ever! Steven Universe, man, it's like, I don't know, it's one of those shows that like it looked interesting and it could have been potentially interesting, but it never ended up being interesting because there's just so many so many writers in the writer room inserting their own beliefs and just vomiting all that onto children. Be anti-racist. A public service announcement from Cartoon Network. Alright, well, we're starting off strong. Let's see what we can do to be anti-racist. Barney is a dinosaur from our imagination. Oh, different purple dinosaur.
Everybody join our circle, doesn't matter if you're
White or black.
Or purple? What the? Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hold up a minute here. Ugh, who wrote this? I think it kind of does matter that I'm purple. I mean, I'm purple because I'm literally an alien.
Well, I'm not an alien, but it definitely matters to me that I'm black. Yeah, it makes a difference that I'm white. I know the two of us get treated very differently.
Wow, white guilt. I didn't expect to see that. Okay, so the first girl here says, well, I'm not an alien, but it does matter to me that I'm black. From this statement, we can probably infer that she has a strong sense of confidence in her racial identity. Awesome. Now, let's go see Cream Crusader Becky over here. Now, I'm not an alien either, but I know that it makes a difference that I'm white, and me and a black person get treated very, very differently, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so God forbid the white kid have the pride in herself that the other kid had. She mustn't dare. We simply can't have her show any opinion that isn't white guilt-driven.
I just think it's messed up to compare me being an alien to you two being different races. You're both human. You're totally biologically the same. Adding purple people into a lesson about human racism makes no sense.
Yeah, that is pretty weird.
Yeah, you gotta have them both talking at the same time, otherwise the words won't really be distributed equally.
I think people like the black, white, or purple thing because adding a fantasy race in there helps distract from the actual racism black people have to deal with.
Right. My experience with anti-black racism is really specific. Other people of color experience other forms of racism too, but you won't see any of that if you don't see color.
Dude, so this entire public service announcement could be a ploy to avoid talking about racism altogether.
Okay, so are these 6-year-old characters just repeating what the writers in the writing room were thinking out loud?
Hey, can we get a rewrite where we appreciate each other without erasing what makes each of us different?
Oh my god, so many lampshades.
Okay, but it's gonna add a couple hours to the shoot.
I can
My
make it work.
speaker's open.
You were rolling just now, weren't you? Can't we just slap some graphics on this and call it a day?
The problem isn't who wrote this, it's why. And who is the audience for this thing?
Yeah, I did kind of think you were gay. So did I. But then I sang this duet with the ghost of Freddie Mercury.
Sure, as one does.
Be gay, totally gay. And I realized that didn't feel right either. It was something more than that.
What's your problem? I remember this episode of Big Mouth really well. I had a Big Mouth phase in middle school, and I watched it so much to the point where I can't even look at the characters anymore. I mean, who can blame me? They're really ugly. So we got this frou-frou on the screen, and he's basically talking about how the term frou-frou really doesn't fit him that much. He wants to be a girl. You know, that's ma'am, not sir. It's ma'am to you.
Kid?
I don't know. I just know I hate you and what you're doing to my body.
Nobody likes puberty. That's why they made the show.
It was like...
Oh. Yeah. You know, it's just totally normal to just have, like... You know, by the way, this is just not at all why this happened. Not at all why this confused young man thinks he's a woman. No, it's not at all because a demon grabbed him by the shirt and started yelling at him, "What the hell is your effing problem?" No, that's definitely not why something's wrong with him. That's definitely not right. That's definitely not why there's some extra funk up in here.
I was vibrating at this weird frequency all the time.
Hey, I get it.
But then I found this forum for trans kids, and it was like, that's who I am. So I told my parents.
Oh God, did they freak out?
Sort of, yeah. But then my mom started...
I mean, that's what happens when these kids don't feel like they fit in. They go and read these forums and these articles and stuff online, and then Jeffrey Marsh kind of gets to them and drags them underneath. And then they end up... like that, with their brains split down the middle. And... I mean, and yeah, even though this isn't a kid's cartoon, it can easily fly under the radar while you're over there at your computer making money, like making $5 a month, and then your kid's at their computer that you can barely afford, getting indoctrinated and telling you that, well, it's a kid's show. And then you fall for it because, oh yeah, you know, they're swearing, but I bet you hear worse in middle school. And that's the point. It's not okay for it to be in middle school, and it's not okay for them to be watching this cartoon. And one thing that I found really weird about this cartoon is that it's classified as an adult cartoon, but they make it clear in the episodes that they want kids going through puberty to watch this. I mean, let's roll it back a second. Look.
More than that.
What's your problem, kid?
I don't know. I just know I hate you and what you're doing to my body.
Nobody likes puberty. That's why they made the show.
It was like...
There you have it, kids. That's why they made the effing show. Also, what I find really weird is that there are scenes of literal minors, children in fact, having sexual intercourse. And of course, this isn't made by children. This is made by adults. So I just find that really creepy. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being stingy or whatever, but I find that really creepy. And obviously, you know, there's all these demons and stuff that they call the hormone monsters. I mean, they're just so desperate for you to know what they want to do.
I didn't know what I was, and I found this forum for trans kids, people with equalness, and they sit there and commiserate. So now you're trans. If you don't know what you are, wouldn't you spend some time figuring it out? Just go, well, let me check everything out. I'm a woman. Right, I'm a woman. That's how I was born. Okay. Am I just a gay woman? Probably. But now you're trans because you found a forum. See, unregulated tech, unregulated by not the government, because they'll that up, unregulated by the parents, the friends, the family, does this. It's only going to get worse.
Yep. That's enough woke cartoons for one day. Yeah, instead of watching woke cartoons, I'm just gonna go watch a Cringe Panda video. You know, she makes some pretty cool stuff, but it's all about woke cartoons. So I'm kind of just going in a circle here. Make sure to watch all my other videos, guys. You know, you could be watching someone else's videos, but why would you want to? Okay guys, that's it for this video. I hope you loved it, and I'll see you again next week. Remember boys, be fruitful and multiply. Don't be fruity and kiss a guy. And Sidekick Panda says bye-bye.
Please hug a non-binary person today. Please find a non-binary person and show them respect. Show them kindness. Please find your sister's kid, your coworker's cousin who is trans and non-binary, and be love, be compassion to them. Thank you.